And last portion of the show here, the fitness portion, how to break through strength and hypertrophy / aesthetic plateaus. I love this topic because a lot of people, everyone should know, but maybe some people don't, right? As someone who has his degree in the fitness world, who's been a coach for 6 years and has a lot of endeavors in it right now, plateaus are naturally going to happen. I go through them myself. Everybody that has ever worked out ever is going to run into a plateau, but the key is that you do not quit during a plateau. It is that you fight through it, right? So how do we do that? Well, first things first, there are many simple ways to break through it, such as exercise tempo changes, right? Switching up the exercises you're using, switching your split, adding pauses, which we're going to talk about in a little more detail, and all that stuff, right? But the main thing that I see happening with a plateau is just getting comfortable. When is the last time you have really felt the muscle work during a set? What I mean is, say we're doing a bicep curl, right? We're doing a bicep curl, right? So I'm trying to get this up here, right? I got my arm out here. I'm doing a nice slow curl, right? When's the last time you really felt every phase of the movement, the concentric, the way up, the isometric hold here, and the eccentric on the way down, right? When's the last time you really felt throughout the entire lift that full contraction? Or my favorite example would be a squat. When you sit into the squat on your descend and then your ascend on the way up, do you feel your legs working every step of the movement? If you're hitting a plateau with strength, one of my favorite ways to break through this plateau like a fucking thing of glass is simple. Slow down. Cut the weight in half. Do a deload, so to speak, right? Where we cut the weight in half. But instead of challenging yourself through a high strength and volume, a high strength, high intense set, slow it down. Feel the muscles work. Sit down slow. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And go through your checklist of things, right? For the squat, for example, it's, do I have a proper core brace? Do I have a proper stability of my spine with my braced core, right? What am I feeling on the way down? Do I feel my legs being loaded? Do I feel my butt being loaded? Where's my foot placement? Are my feet closer together, targeting more of my quad, or are they farther apart? Am I mainly targeting my hips and the outer layer here, right? What are my mobility restrictions that are contributing to me not feeling this exercise correctly or not getting stronger? From there, when you stand up out of a squat, right? If we're using the squat as an example, what do I feel? Go slow and look in the mirror. Are you standing through your back? Are you letting your back arch as you stand up through the movement, taking the pressure off your legs? Or are we fully keeping that core engaged and standing, pushing the floor away with our feet, feeling our legs? And you don't have to do this for long, just try it for like a week or two, right? As you start to refix and go back to the drawing board and head back to basics and re-understand these movements and retrain your brain to feel the muscles work, then you can go back to adding your weight again, and you'll slowly start to be able to break through those strength plateaus because those muscles are establishing another important connection, right? We're enhancing that neural connection that we might have lost over time by just going through the motions. Same thing with a bench press. What do we feel? Are we pinching our shoulder blades together, right? Are we pretending to bend the bar, getting our lats involved, or are we just letting the shoulders shrug up and not having a stable base on our shoulder blades? This can go for every exercise. Adding pauses. Come down, pause. Do a pause. And then, can you get that weight off you? Have a spotter, please. Disclosure and disclaimer, have a spotter and don't do this like stupidly, right? Don't put 300 pounds on the bar and pause it there if you can't handle it. But pause. Do we have the strength and good form to push that weight back up? Pause at the bottom of your squat. Can you get up out of that hole? Pause at your deadlift. Do you feel your back on fire? You shouldn't. You should feel your butt, your hips, and your hamstrings working together to push that bar through. Pause. The best way to break through a plateau is to pause because it allows you to feel what you're supposed to actually feel. And when we switch the segue over to aesthetics, not only is this going to help you understand and build a better connection with the muscle, but the better connection you build with your muscle, the more motor units you can recruit, the more range of motion you can recruit and go through, the bigger the muscle is going to grow. In order to have a muscle grow, you need to establish a connection with it so that way the muscle knows what it's doing and the muscle can drive the movement. If you are squatting, but you're squatting to your back, your legs will not grow. If you're bench pressing, but you're bench pressing with the dominance of your shoulders, your chest won't grow. If you're shoulder pressing and you don't have proper shoulder mobility, or you have bad rotator cuffs back there, you're going to arch your back through the movement and your shoulders won't grow. These are things you need to be aware of. And the easiest way to be aware of them is, of course, we could do tempo changes to go slower and pause. Pause. Take a break. Put the brakes on. You're taking one step back for 20 jumps forward. I know some people have a hard time with that. They think more weights, more sets, more reps, harder every week, harder. No, sometimes it's break. If you're not progressing, that means something is wrong and you need to put the brakes on and evaluate. Pause. Feel. Okay? So thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Shane Hoffman Show today. Thank you guys so much for coming back for episode 2. I cannot wait for episode 3 coming at you guys soon. Take care. Have an awesome week.